Today's sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. But today we start the new season with an AFC West division battle right out of the gate, as it'll be the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the LA Chargers. Just about time to rock as Toe gets ready to meet leather. And we are underway here in Los Angeles. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Hawk 70. Go street. Panther 11. Panther 11. Warrior 70. 18. Rock 19. 60 Maverick. 60 Maverick. Ready.
Right to the air is Willis. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. It's complete. It's Adnan Mitchell. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Trap 60, trap 60. 19 tight, 19 tight.
To throw, here's Willis. And his throw is incomplete.
It's now second and 10.
Now it's second and 10.
Here we go, set. Panther 60, Panther 79, 60 Bobcat, 60 Bobcat. Buffalo 18.
To throw, here's Willis. Throw out wide to Walker. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming.
And it's third down.
Well, looks like they'll move things around here.
70 Ranger, 70 Ranger. Check, smash, check, Dragon, Cup Knight, alert, alert. Mustang 19.
Willis will look to pass again here. Here's a diving catch right side. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10, down at the 31.
70 Timberwolf, Warrior 70. 19 Lion. 18 Rattler, 18 Rattler. Panther 11, Panther 11. Go.
From the gun, here's Willis. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seems like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
2nd and 10.
Cougar 19. Panther 60, Panther 18, Pioneer. Trap 60, trap 60.
Willis. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing the throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the 1st down. And don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger.
Willis now off play action. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Touchdown. Adonai Mitchell, 27 yards. And the Raiders are on the board here first in the season opener. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game.
Raiders 7, Chargers nothing.
The Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And that's going to skip into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Only good for saving face, seeing cosmetics. How many hands I gotta take to level my aesthetics? Hurry up and get your muscle up. We up the plyometric. Ran up by the Lux and that's up the highest metric. The city just made a sweep. You could diabetic. They mouth get full of deceit.
Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's got room down the right sideline. And he's going to get this down inside the 40 before he's finally ridden out of bounds. A big play there for LA. 41 yards on the ground. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 39-yard line. Now a first carry here for their running back. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Justin Herbert looking to pass. And this one is incomplete.
Intended for number 86.
Had an open man that time. They ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Back to throw here, Herbert. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. Was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And Charles, these early season in-division games are always interesting because you're still kind of figuring yourself out, but you want to know as much as you can about the opponent, especially when it's a division matchup. So I'm curious to see how the rest of this one plays out.
Yeah, that's a good point because they're still trying to work things out. They don't know everything about their own team, let alone trying to figure out their opponent. But you got to do both on the fly, don't you? While the game's being played, figure it out both ways and try and find a way to win.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
Pick the Eagles! Pick the Eagles! Here we go! Here we go! Let's go, Eagles!
Willis out of the gun. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they're up to the challenge.
Back to 60. 19 tight. 19 tight. Warriors 70. 60 Maverick. Mustang 19. 79 Broncos. 18 Rattler. 18 Rattler.
Willis from the gun on third down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. On fourth down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is taken at about the 14. A nice job getting free on the return for 14 yards. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. They had the auspicious beginning to the season, a first drive turnover. Now they'll try again here, first and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
Here's second and 10. Here's Herbert. Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a third down.
And he's missed now in his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
Now they face a third and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. That is incomplete.
Well, they've moved the ball okay here in these first 2 drives, but this one's going to again amount to nothing. They've got to start dialing up some plays that allow them to finish drives with points.
On is the Chargers punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He's going to field this at the 4. Not a big deal on that one, just your everyday 67-yard punt. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a first and 10. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out first and 10.
Trap 50, Dragon 60.
Back to throw, Willis. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Check. 18 Cardinal. Mustang 19, 60 Maverick, 60 Buck, 18 Rattler, 18 Rattler.
Now Willis to throw. They'll get this complete to Matthew Golden. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. The catch and run, good for 24 yards. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a first and 10.
Here we go. Rig. Panther 60. Rig alert. Buffalo 8. Cup 19. Panther 11.
Willis looking to throw it. He's going to let it go deep for Mitchell. Throw left side is complete on the diving effort. It's a big play there for Vegas. 47 yards. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's Las Vegas with the football, as they've got it with a first and 10.
Ready. Cowboy 80. 7 Pirates. 19 tight. Warriors 7, Panther 60, Panther 60.
Willis. And he's got it. Touchdown, Raiders. Adonai Mitchell. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Raiders go up by 2 touchdowns. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0.
14. Chargers, nothing.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. A beautiful fake. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 41. And Charles, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
18, Pioneer. 70 Ranger, 70 Ranger. Ready.
Back to throw, Willis. Over the middle, he's got Golden. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
Back to 60. Riggs. 70 Timberwolves. 60 Falcons. 18 Rebels. 60 Mavericks. 60 Mavericks.
Willis will look to throw it. He's going to let it go deep for Mitchell. And that is incomplete.
Well, the first 2 drives yielded touchdowns, so there's no reason for them to feel like they have to pull back on the reins. They pushed it downfield, looking for another one right there. Didn't get it, but we know they're going to continue to be bold.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Panther 60. Panther 60. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates. Go.
Now Willis. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
Cut 19.
Slot man moves right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll try and do this himself. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Benjamin St. Just. And the Chargers are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. He's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle third of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line, he provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
He's going to float this one deep right side. This is caught at the 20. And he'll get this all the way down inside the Vegas 20. A first red zone opportunity the new year here as they come up now 1st and 10. Here's Herbert. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
So the completion good for 6 yards. And now it's 3rd and 3. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield. If you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice game.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A chance for their first points of the season here as it's 1st and goal.
Home troops right. Set. 380. You're out. Go.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now is where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
2nd and goal from the 1.
380. Set.
And the avenue collapse for him as he's going to be held up short of the goal line. Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal.
Ready.
Call it no gain on the keeper. It's going to bring up the 4th down. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We're soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
He's got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Chargers. A great effort there. There to make the grab. And the Chargers take the chance on 4th and goal, and it pays off with 6. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make our score 14-7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with a 14-7 lead, they might just be happy to take this thing on into the tunnel. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He completes this to Walker. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
Trap 60, trap 60. 19, Tiger, 19, Tiger. 18, Buffalo 18.
Now Willis. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
Cougar 19. Check, Bobcat. Check, Bobcat.
In motion, the tight end.
Smash. Hey, smash. Dragon 60. Panther 11. 60 Bobcat. 60 Bobcat.
Here's Willis. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Here is third and quite a ways.
79 Bronco. 18 Cardinal. 18 Cardinal. Third. Right there. 60. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
18 Rattler. 19 tight. Cup 19. Cup 19. Ready.
Willis from the gun on third down. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Cole now on to punt, and he sends this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust the...
And that's caught inside the 35. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
The 29-yard line.
From the shotgun, here's Herbert. And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown. A great play there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Chargers have a chance to tie the game here in the final seconds of the half. Extra point right down the middle. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And only 6 seconds on the clock, so time likely for just one play. Play action. Here's Willis. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Trap 60. Here we go. Dragon 6. 70 Rays. 70 Lions. Panther 11. Panther 11. 19 Lions. 60 Bobcats. 60 Bobcats. Buffalo 18.
Last play of the half. Willis. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Chargers are going to get the football back as time will run out in this third quarter of play. one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20. The Charger drive about to get going. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one. And we all know about coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee Wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's a give up the middle. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them. And boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8. Take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receivers or offensive linemen. That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 48-yard line. It's Hill, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Herbert. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Hands it off out of the gun. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
And they'll go on the ground. And he will get in across the chalk for a Chargers touchdown. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Chargers have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is now 21-14. Kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. And not much happening on the return as we'll get this to about the 23. Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And this game was all square at halftime, and now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
Seven Pirates. Mustang 18 Rattler. 18 Rattler.
Willis. Repeat of the last play, finding Walker. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Now Willis to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
First down, Las Vegas.
Strike, 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick, 79 Broncos, Buffalo 18. Ready.
Willis will look to pass again here. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
2nd and 10, third quarter of the season opener.
Hey, Smith, ready. 70 Timberwolf. Street, 19 Lock, Panther in the trap 50, 70 Rangers, 70 Rangers.
Shotgun snap to Willis. Complete. This is Mitchell. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers 33. That'll put him up over 160 yards receiving now for the game. They can't seem to stop it.
Hey, Smith. 18 Rattler, 18 Rattler. Mustang 18, Dragon 60.
To throw, here's Willis. Now he's going to step up and run. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That was a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
I think the last two plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Ready. Bronco 80.
Walker now on 1st and 10. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the fourth. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Cowboy 80. Set. Hurt. Hey, smash Broncos. Buffalo 18. 79 Broncos. Cup 19. 60 Maverick. 6 Panther 11. Dragon 60. Go.
Willis looks to pass it here. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
The offense on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be a tough 3rd and 18.
Check, smash, check, 70 Rangers, 70 Rangers. 18, Pioneer, 60, Warriors, 7 Pirates, 7.
To throw, here's Willis. Wide open receiver, complete. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Drop 50. Let's go. 19, 70 Lions. Mustang 19. 19 tight. 19 tight.
Willis got to have this one. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Matthew Golden, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Raiders are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. What a start to the season this has been. Back and forth, all tied 4th quarter as the kick is away here. And they'll opt not to return this, but since the ball did hit in the landing zone, this will come out to the 20. The Charger drive about to get going. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. And a short gain there as they get it up only to around the 24. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
It's now 2nd and 6.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Some good games around the league here early in week 1, and this one's shaping up to be as good as any of them as we come up on a 1st and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. From the 41, here's a 2nd and 8. Back to throw here, Herbert. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 18. 23 yards the pickup there. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. And here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
We always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet,
sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports.
Kappa.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. A great effort there with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Chargers answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. Kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
This is 1st and 10.
Here we go. Cut right there. Hawk 70. Dragon 60. 60 Maverick. 18 Rattler.
Throwing, Willis. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
That's a nice job right there, partner, because they were able to work down the middle of the field, working in the seams, because I think defensively, they were guarding the sidelines, trying to keep them from getting out of bounds. They took what they gave them, and it was successful.
Willis to throw. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. And the Chargers have just about sewn up this football game. Well, this has been a bit of a tough game to figure out when it comes to him throwing the football. He's got the 3 touchdown passes, but now, Charles, this is a 3rd interception.
And those aren't really numbers that you'd like to see balance out. In a normal ledger sheet, if you can balance everything, you feel good about your day. But as a quarterback, you need your ratio to be more like 3 touchdown passes to 1 interception.
And a great job there to read that one defensively. They strung him out, would not allow him to cut upfield.
8 yards on the pickup.
Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
21.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? We just saw that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice game there. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game.
Kappa. 5-9. Go.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he stopped immediately there. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and we have it in the NFL. The miracle at the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time, ball caught free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season, and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for the Chargers, it was a hard-fought game, and they'll exit 1-0 as they win by a touchdown. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.